I will have died several times. Grace help me to build capacity against the assault of death. You read that in my biographies, the several attempts of death on my life and how light from heaven bailed me out. Don't toy with your spiritual life. To be spiritually minded is life and peace. Be carnally minded is death. Work first, pleasure later. If you put pleasure first, you are under pressure. You will rent a house beyond you and can't find sleep. You buy a car you cannot maintain, so you get grounded eventually. Life. When you hear me telling you stories of 48 years ago, okay, how old am I? That tells you how early I got started learning about life and how to make the most of it. I will soon be 70. I have no regret for any aspect of my life. I'm speaking to you the word of a father to complement what your parents teach you. You better hearken to the instruction of a father and make the most of your life. We grew up as boys. The playboys of our time, they are off the radar. Off the radar. Can't trace them. Does that mean they are dead? No. They're just off. Life is an adventure in times and seasons. Ecclesiastes 3, 1 and 2. And he makes all things beautiful in his time, verse 11. This is the planting season of your life as youths. This is your planting season. If you miss the planting season for corn, you go cornless for that year, or you buy. Planting seasons are not reversible. They are not. You miss it, you miss it. This is the planting season of your life. I've spoken to you, young men, because you're strong. The word of God abides in you, and you overcome the wicked one. This is the planting season of your life. 1 John 2:14. You better recognize the planting season of your life. Don't allow weeds to grow. They will choke your tender grape and make such victims miserable. Can I have you say with me, I'm in the planting season of my life? What does that mean? It's now your time to clear your field of all by uprooting all unwanted trees. That's how to start planting. You first do clearing of the debris in your life that stand as blockades to your future. Uprooting them. Uprooting habits that will block your access to a future. And then you plow. I'm talking about a Greek now. You break up the ground. You break up the fallow ground. And then you arrow. Turn it around. And then you reach. Ready for planting. Then you fertilize the earth to make the most of your seed. It's a process. And it requires a lot of time. A son that sleeps in harvest is one that brings his father shame. Therefore awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light. Proverbs 10, 4 and 5. Awake. I found something at 16 from Lamentation 3:27, that it is good for a young man to bear his yoke in his youth. it got hold of me, and I went under a little shrub behind the hostel of our secondary school and knelt down and said, Jesus, whatever yoke I need to bear when I'm old, let me bear it now. I don't want to be carrying luggage at old age. Later, I came to understand what that yoke actually means. It's not suffering, no. Responsibility. Take responsibility early or you end up in liability later. Take responsibility early or you end up in liability later. Take responsibility early or you end up in liability later. Take responsibility now or you end up in liability later. You mustn't end your life with a die known. That's why you are knowing now. Jesus described what this yoke is all about when he said, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. Come and learn of me. My yoke is easy and my burden is light, and you find rest for your souls. Matthew 11, 28 and 29. Take my yoke upon you and learn. Don't wait to learn by experience. Learn by exploration of knowledge. Don't wait to learn how to avoid accident. By experience, you may not survive it. Learn it by knowledge. It's safer, it's secure. So it is the yoke of learning or the responsibility of learning what it takes to make the most of one's life. I say humorously here, the yoke of learning is lighter than the yoke of suffering. The yoke of learning is lighter than the yoke of suffering. Don't learn by suffering, learn by learning. The burden of learning is lighter than the burden of failure. The burden of learning is lighter than the burden of failure. The yoke of learning is far more dignifying than the horror of poverty. Learn how not to be poor. Learn efficient management of your resources. Learn the covenant approach to sustainable financial fortune. Learn it, learn it, learn it. Learn it. By the grace of God, I have a walk-through library in my home. It's a whole place. About 4 rows. You'll find books there of 1 naira 35 kobo. I will tell you when. I started consciously buying books to learn about life since I was 20. Nothing of value is ever free. Wake up. You have a vision, well done. If you don't learn how to pursue your vision, it will become a delusion. You will see the light of day. Learn. Learn. The demand of learning is non-negotiable if one must avoid heavy burdens tomorrow. Learn the way out before you are shut in. Therefore, my advice as you go, have a running project for this vacation season. Build strength in the areas of weaknesses in your academic pursuit. Seek brighter understanding where you are just merely average. Secondly, very important, build spiritual capacity against the wickedness of the wicked to secure your destiny and eternity. I had some guests in the course of the week, and they came in from the US. The husband slept one night and saw some fellow knocking his knees. Couldn't walk again. Has been on wheelchair for 3 years. Build spiritual capacity against the wickedness of the wicked to secure your destiny and eternity. Build it. A jolly, great home can just be intruded by a stranger, and immediately the spouse has demons. A stranger has crept in because there is no strength to resist him. Build spiritual capacity. Had the man PhD from Harvard that went off mentally, they brought him here. Brought down from the US. Build spiritual capacity. Look for spiritual material to boost your spiritual understanding. Otherwise, you come out of covenant today, you enter into a shrine tomorrow. Come out of covenant today, and tomorrow you are in a cult. For lack of spiritual capacity. If you faint in the day of battle, it's because your strength is small. Proverbs 24 verse 10. Spend time to build your spiritual capacity. One of my early mentors in life, very respectable man, was a grade 3 teacher. He walked his way to earn a first degree, a second degree, a third degree, and became a celebrated personality at NIPS. Having also served as Secretary to State Government. Others die at that level. But no, he invested his time while others squandered it. I used to know a primary school teacher, and suddenly we heard that he was going to the law school. How did he get there? He was doing London University correspondence course and passed his law degree without knowing the airport and headed on for the Nigerian law school. He left the others behind. They are still playing ayo under the tree and grubbing corn. This one is hard. Bring me another one. Somebody else has left them behind. Has schooled abroad without leaving his village. Has earned the prestigious law degree from London University. Now was on his way to the law school. Self-discipline is key to outstanding success in anyone's life. That is your value for time, your value for your desired goal, drives you to set rules and laws around your life. There is this interesting joke. We were in London one time. My friend and my wife were going. They said we were going for shopping. I said, I'm not going. They said, no, we just a moment, we'll be there. So we got there. I said, can I excuse myself? You go for shopping. I have things doing here. I'll stay in the car. I have the key. I lock myself inside. The car is running. The AC is working. When they came back, they had to knock. I wasn't sleeping. They had to knock for me to open for them. I've drawn so much value from that time. I'm going about. I don't have to buy anything anywhere. There's nothing I'm wearing that they don't say in Nigeria. By buying somewhere else, I'm distorting the market system. Some people have gone to buy and they're to sell. And if everybody has to buy from somewhere else, then who will buy what they sell? I've entered a shopping mall in Lagos only once in my life. And that was 1990. I stood in front of a counter last, 1989. Banking counter. There's something I want to get, I can send for it. Give you a check if it's a check they need, or anything they need, but they can't need me. I'm not applying to borrow, so what are you needing me for? Life is all about you defining your values and standing by them. Time is an asset of equality. While some invest it, multitudes squander it. Benjamin Franklin said, "Doth thou love life? Invest time. Don't squander it, for that is the stuff life is made up of." Invest your time. Don't squander it. It's one of the characteristics of high-level self-discipline. Highly disciplined people have utmost value for time, and they endeavor to make the most of it. I said your self-discipline is operating without requiring supervision towards the delivery of a given task, like in the case of David. He was there with the sheep, keeping watch over the sheep, and no lion nor bear can come across and destroy them. He had no supervision from any source, and see how decorated his life became. That is the power of self-discipline. Examples here that will apply to us as young people, youth growing up, include examples of fellows like Joseph. He was 17 years when he began to face the ordeals of life. But it's came through by the evident virtue of self-discipline. When Potiphar's wife wanted to floor him, no, I can't do this and sin against God. In the prison, the most respected prisoner you ever come across. Whatever was done in the prison, Joseph was the doer of it. He was a youth like you. But see how decorated his destiny became. Nothing got missing in the house of Potiphar. He entrusted all his estate into his hand. Self-discipline. He never attempted to flee and get back to his country. Self-discipline. He never took it out on his brothers who sold him into slavery. Self-discipline. Think of Daniel. As for these 4 children, remember they were children. But the purpose in their heart not to defy themselves with the king's rich food. They were just unique. They were out of the box. They were not in general run of the youth of their days. See how decorated and distinguished the 4 of them became. The value of self-discipline is inestimable. Think of Nehemiah. Highly disciplined individual. You can read the story. And Paul the apostle I put my body under. I bring it into subjection so I can achieve my goals. Self-discipline. 1 Corinthians 9, 24 to 26. This is why everyone is absolutely responsible for the outcome of his life. Everyone. Young people, success is not transferable. You can't inherit it. Every successful man has to earn it. The success you don't earn, you cannot sustain. Waiting for the inheritance of your father is selling out your destiny for a morsel of meat. If your father is a professor of renown, there is no way you can inherit that status. You try to do that, you'll be charged for impersonation, you end up in prison. That illustration shows you that no matter how accomplished your parent is not transferable to you. What you don't earn, you cannot sustain. A good friend of mine, Professor Julius Okogie, said something. He said, you can't prepare the future for your children, but you can prepare your children for the future. You can't. Many great names with great fortune have left here, leaving a fortune for their children. They squander it before their body is decomposed. They squander it before their body decomposed in the grave. Finish. Begging on the street. Because you can't keep what you don't earn. Wealth gotten by vanity shall diminish, but it that gathereth by labor shall increase. Proverbs 13 verse 11. It is only what you earn that secures your future, not what somebody transferred to you. We are a people of equal destiny in the faith. As many as he has predestinated, he has called, and the ones he has called, he has justified, and the ones he has justified, he has glorified. We have an equal destiny in Christ. The difference is how much we engage with the truth that empowers the fulfillment of our glorious destiny. We need to engage. Otherwise, we'll just be there. This is so important, and we must have to engage with this fact. Self-discipline is a requirement for outstanding accomplishment in life. And it's all about efficient self-management and efficient time management. Those two major characteristics define what we call self-discipline. It's efficient self-management and time management. The story was told of two high school boys that grew up in the same environment, went to school in the same place, and now after high school, each one went his way. One was walking from one fast food store to one restaurant and all that stuff. And after 19 years, it was still worth $7.50 an hour. Now, his companion, 1 year after leaving school, had read 600 books. How many? It's still, I don't care whether it's a pamphlet or what. He's read 600 books, has developed capacity. By the time they met, the storyteller said they were continents apart. This other young man who has developed capacity through a voracious reading culture made possible by self-discipline was worth $200,000 an hour. while the other one was worth $7.50. Jobbing from one restaurant to another in the quest of how to eat free. No, people work in restaurants, eat free. You have to eat what to cook so you can be sure it's not poisonous. So they eat and they eat a lot. So if you have a kitchen with 10 people, you are feeding about 15 people because they will eat 1.5 the regular food. Amen. He was just eating for free all about and selling off his destiny for nothing. He had no budget for food because he eats free. Even when he's not on duty, he goes there to go and see how they are cooking as an experienced cook or steward. While someone else was building capacity behind closed doors through the dint of self-discipline. We need to get acquainted with this, that you are only classmates in school. After school, there are no classmates. Each one finds his class. Each one finds his class. And self-discipline is what defines the limit of what class we find ourselves. My prayer this morning is that no one here will waste his youth. And no one here will waste his life. It's a lot. It takes discipline to make the most of anyone's life. It takes high level discipline. You'll soon be out of here and nobody's running after you. You can sleep 12 hours a day. That means by the time you are 70, you have slept for 35 years. You are unconscious 35 years. Even when somebody is sleeping only 3 hours, or 8 hours, call it 8 hours, he slept only 1/3. So he's beating you. Somebody is spending 16 hours, they can't get the same result. They cannot get the same result. There is this man called Benjamin Franklin that had 2 years formal education, but would rather do without food and spend that money to buy books in developing the future he aspired to see. It's not enough to see the future you desire to see. It's important to be willing to pay the price to realize it. He literally taught himself how to read and write, and what a celebrity, what a destiny. Today there's Benjamin Franklin Day recognized in America. He grew to become a foremost philosopher, a diplomat, an educationist, a researcher. One man. Michael Faraday was a lab attendant, developed himself to a point where he became the envy of his professor. Ended his journey recognized as a man of science. Great name out of self-discipline. Anybody can make anything out of his life if he's willing to pay the price for it. The busier you are, the freer you are from the evil vices of the day. So, it goes beyond just accomplishing your goals. It protects your life from the devourer. Therefore, everyone must rise to take his destiny in his hand. We all know that a year is made up of only 52 weeks, and a week is made up of 168 hours. Now, 1 year, therefore, is made up of 8,736 hours. It's not that long. No one has 1,000,000 hours on earth. Because 100 full engaged life is still less than 1,000,000 hours. Let's wake up and take responsibility. The worth of any life is a function of the worth of his time. We talk about in his lifetime. What his life, his time was worth while he lived. Quality time investors usually ends up as newsmakers. All smart time investors, more often than not, end up as stars in their fields of endeavors. That's why those who make news hardly watch them. Their time is invested making news for those to watch, to have what to watch. The Playboy magazine once asked Bill Gates, "We hear you don't watch TV." He said, "No, I'm not immune to the lures of TV. I just try to avoid it. But I have no satellite wires passing across my house." Those who make news hardly have time to watch them. Their time is fully invested in making more news than those who must watch as their own calling in life. We have what to watch. In most cases, those who stay by the news hardly have their names mentioned. But they are there. Some even turn it on to go to bed. They wake up in the morning, maybe they want to ease themselves. What's happening in Spain again? In Senegal? What's happening? So, what time do you now think? Someone shot their phone in the night while they are sleeping. Another will it be on silence. So it can be interrupted 5 times, 6 times a night. Hello? Hello? Oh, wrong number. It's not necessary. There is nothing extraordinary on its own. It is man's extraordinary input that makes it so. There is nothing extraordinary. Just any dummy can be a success if he knows what it takes. That's what Zig Ziglar said. Just any dummy can be a success if it knows what it takes. One of my great teachers said, if you fail, it's your fault. And if you succeed, it's your fault. If you fail, it's your fault. And if you succeed, it's your fault. Every failure keeps blaming the successful. It's a lie, just using some other method we don't know. No. You think they work in the night for nothing? They're going for some meetings. That's why they succeed. Okay, follow them. Follow them, you're an investigator. Follow them. Someone said success is a matter of luck. Ask any failure. That's his concept. He's just lucky there's nothing there, Brother David is just lucky. Okay, be as lucky as him. Work the hours he works. Be focused as he's focused. You'll be equally lucky. The purchasing power of success is universal. There is no developed country that makes you a success. There's no that developed country that makes you a failure. It's paying the price anywhere you are. It determines your level of success in life. There is no underdeveloped country on this earth without successful people inside who help to keep life going for others who don't know how to make it happen. In every nation, there are money lenders and there are money borrowers. And the money lenders are not thieves. Thieves don't lend money out. They will ask, where did you get it from? No. So it's not about where you are, it's about who you are and who am I. There is no country of this earth where self-discipline will not acquire success. Access to the top is always at a cost. The top is open and free, but everyone has to make his way there. And the sky is so wide that no two balls ever collide. So nobody's success is the reason for anybody's else failure. Nobody's success is the reason for anybody's failure. So stop getting angry with successful. Subscribe to the demands, and you'll be as successful as whosoever may be. This is a choice to make, and it's the choice of the wise. He said, I lay before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Choose life. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 19. Choose life. Choose life. Choose life. That both thou and thy seed may live. Choose life. Choose to be part of those that make things happen. Someone has said 5% of people make things happen. 25% watch things happen. They're entertained by the happenings. And a whooping 70% don't know anything's happening. And that's what you have today in the race of life.